Okay, this is just going to be a little 2 minute spitball. About 3 years ago, I was sitting in a similar place to this. The new Pokemon game had just come out, was about to come out. Now it's the Nintendo Switch 2 today. And I was thinking, gosh, I've got this incredible job where I get to make videos about what I love and share with the world and entertain, and maybe make people laugh or maybe make people think. I get to do that. And I've got an incredible relationship with my wonderful girlfriend who's asleep in the next room, which is why I'm keeping my voice down. And I have incredible friends who go above and beyond to support me in everything I do and champion me. And I have a wonderful family who are still alive and touch wood in okay health, and to have youth. I'm 31 years old. I'm young. I have time, to have all of these things. How incredibly grateful I was then and how incredibly grateful I am now. And I was, but there's a difference between here and then. Because 3 years ago, I was able to assess all of those things and still be incredibly sad. Um, I sort of looked at my life and I went, I have all of this, so why am I still upset? Why am I still in a state of anguish? This morning, when I reflected on those things, and I cried and I looked at the ceiling while I was just kind of lying there, um, thinking about this stuff, I kind of came to, I'm not sad, I'm not depressed, and I see the journey in between here and there. And I wanted to kind of share with you the three big things that I think have changed my life over the last 3 years more dramatically than the 3 to 6 to 10 years before that. Obviously, I got incredibly lucky and I worked incredibly hard to make Birdkeeper Toby happen, and that was the foundation, the springboard that's caused everything to come into existence since. But at that time, I was only Birdkeeper Toby, and that's all I could do. That's all I knew who to be and how to do, and it was my purpose and meaning for being. When I assessed my life 3 years ago and found that that was the case, that I was sad, despite having anything a person could want, really, in the grand scheme of things. Like, sure, we could all want a lot more money and all that, but I, despite having everything a person could need, I was sad. And so I went to therapy. That was the call to do it. And I'd been to therapy before, but that was the first time that therapy clicked for me. It wasn't in the first session. It took 6 or 7 for me to work out what therapy was going to be and how I could use it. And it was a process called transactional analysis therapy. If you've not considered therapy or if you've not done this kind of therapy, I would hugely recommend it. And a big part of my therapeutic journey is walk and talk. We literally walk out in nature for about an hour and chat. And I lead the sessions. I lead what we're going to talk about and where we're going. And that was huge. That was key number one. I think key number two was food, diet, and exercise, right? Diet and exercise. Now, at that time, my relationship to food, and it's the same relationship I have, which is a difficult one. And it's the one that I've talked about it on this channel. I've developed it over the years. Poor relationships to food as comfort and as coping. And I like good tasting food. Of course I do. I love the joy of that. And I think I had resigned myself to being unfit and trying to find the silver lining in that and going, well, I'll be the fat jolly guy and that'll just be me. Even though I want to be the healthy jolly guy. I don't get fat or thin. I don't get healthy, whatever that looks like. I want to be the healthy jolly guy. And I want to take care of my body. And I also had a relationship to exercise that was, I don't like it. It reminds me of PE in school. My therapist asked me in relation to that a pretty simple question, which was, she said, that's quite close-minded of you, Toby. There must be one exercise, something you thought was fun as a kid. And it was trampolining. And I started going for 2 hours on a Monday. Now, today, I go swimming twice a week. I've been doing that for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And now I'm going running. I do couch to 5K. Oh my goodness. I didn't know I could run. I couldn't. 5 weeks ago, I couldn't run. And now I can run for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, which is incredible. 20 minutes. I won't get ahead of myself. But I'm going to complete it. I'm going to complete couch to 5K. I think I'm going to do couch to 10K. I feel good about my fitness and I feel good about my relationship to food, which, while I was not able to fully work everything out there, what I was able to do was treat it like a stock market chart with dips and valleys, but trending up. Every time I found myself binging food or entering a bad food habit, I'd catch myself a little sooner. Every time I found myself dieting, I discovered the keto diet, which was pretty huge for me. I was able to diet for longer and then catch myself and longer and catch myself. And I got to a point where I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to transition from a keto diet to just a calorie counting and see if I can manage this kind of healthy relationship with the food. And I spoke with my therapist about my relationship to food and how it had developed the way that it had. I obviously stepped away from YouTube, spent some time pursuing the stuff that I was scared to pursue, acting and just opening some doors, reassuring myself that, you know what, I can do other things, and I can. And I worked in other industries, and that was nice. And I found passion then again for YouTube, and I've come back to that. And now I feel like I'm living a life led by choice. The third big thing is the most recent one. So food and exercise, therapy, and you'll notice that those affect each other, and they affect this medication. I'm medicated right now. I'm on my ADHD medication, Elvance. I'm in titration. We're exploring. That means I'm just exploring what medication could work for me. I've been ADHD my whole life. I was diagnosed when I was 9. There's been a whirlwind of thought going on since I was about 20, I think, 2021. 2016 was an incredibly wild year for me in the chronology of my life, and I think things just began to mentally kind of whirlwind and whirlwind and whirlwind. And in some senses, it was my strength, it was my asset that I was able to become so dedicated to the job and so dedicated to that kind of thing and passionately chasing. But I was also, I think, quite passionately running away. And I think I was able, that I've used therapy and I've used healthy eating to kind of calm myself, and that's fine. But even amongst that, about 9 months ago, I was having a chat with a friend, my best friend, who suggested, mate, you know what though? He said, there are things that bother you that seem to just it's not that deep, effectively. And it was what I needed to hear. And I went, you know what, you're right. Like, why am I still so high strung? And he suggested I go to the doctor to talk about antidepressants. And I did. And my doctor listened to me. And he said, you don't need antidepressants. Your ADHD, man. The way that you're interacting, the way that you're thinking, your patterns, it's all very ADHD. We should get you to see a specialist. And so I began that journey. And I've begun medication. I'm now 3 weeks into medication. And it was immediate. Day one. It was absolutely incredible. This feeling of, this is how it's supposed to be. Quieter and calmer and more engaged and present with what's going on in my life and in my body. Now I think these three, therapy, food and exercise, and medication, if that's what you need, can be done in any order. I think everyone's journey is different, and I think you've got to find the way in that works for you. I needed to go to therapy so that I could understand my relationship with food, and I needed to really work on myself for years before then going, do you know what though, there is still something underlying, and do the therapy. I needed it in that direction. But other people, you're going to do it in different directions. You're going to get the medication first. It's going to give you the freedom of headspace to go to therapy, to deal with that stuff, to reassess if you need the medication. And for some people, it's going to be get up every day, go for a run, get some food, look after yourself on a very basic level, day after day after day after day. Maybe then you've got the capacity and the room to onboard these things. And I look at my life now at 31, and I'm just unbelievably grateful to everyone, to you for watching. This is not a 2-minute ramble, coming up on 10. To my friends and family, to everyone who supported and championed me, to my partner, to my incredible girlfriend Phoebe. And I'm just overwhelmed right now by how incredibly lucky I am. And I want to put that back out into the world. I want to say thank you. And as this kind of new chapter is kind of happening, Lawkeeper Toby's just started up, and I've got the ball rolling, and it looks like that's going to be a success. I'm happy with that. And the doors are opening in the world of acting, and the doors are opening for me physically with my health. I'm in love with my body right now. I think I'm just looking after it, and it's looking after me. And as I'm beginning this new journey on medication, of which I'm now 3 weeks in, and I found a dose that, fingers crossed, it might normalize and stabilize, and we'll continue titration to find what works. But I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to let you know how grateful I am, because I think big things are coming, for me. And I think that doesn't and didn't happen without you. And I have full intentions to kind of pave it back and share it back. I try to do what I can in terms of helping out smaller creators and advice and chatting with people. And there is some charity work coming up. There'll be more about that down the line. I don't want to make this video about like, oh, this is the charity stuff I'm doing. Like, look at that. But there is going to be some stuff coming up, and it's nothing huge. It's nothing world changing, but it's just me trying to do my part. And there's always the philosophy of I could always do more. This weekend, it's just about enjoying and having fun and playing the Switch 2 and sharing some time with you. But I'm really excited for the next like 10 years. Content creation, acting, health, good friends, family, traveling. Just thank you. I'm incredibly grateful. And I hope you have a lovely day and you take some time to think about the things that you're grateful for. And if you are unhappy, I hope you find a way in. Those big three. They really helped me. Cool. Take care, everyone.